Well, some of the fans not supportive of Pat Riley and his handling of Anthony Mason, who will serve game 2 of his suspension. So what do you do if your starting center isn't available, as Benoit Benjamin is not for Butch Beard tonight? Maybe go back to the same strategy you used against Shaquille O'Neal, or something different? That's the question.
I don't think anybody's been able to defend Patrick all year. He's had a very good year, and it seems like that if Patrick needs to score 35 or 40 in order for the Knicks to win, he's been able to do that. You know, to get 15, 16 rebounds, he's been able to do that. He'll get his points tonight. We're just hoping that we can contain some other people, and if the game is close, we'll see what happens down the stretch.
In their last meeting, Al, on January 16th here in the Garden, in the Knicks' biggest win against the Nets this year, they didn't double-team Ewing. They decided not to double-team Patrick, and he won for 32 points and 15 rebounds. Let's see if Butch changes that strategy.
John, we just saw a lighthearted exchange between the coach and Derek Coleman. Interesting to see their chemistry as we get set tonight. Patrick Ewing coming off of 36 points on 36 shots. Derek Coleman last night in foul trouble, but still 17 points and 17 rebounds in a game in which the mailman beat Derek Coleman for the 8th consecutive time. Joe Crawford, Terry Durham, Ron Oleksiak will call the fouls and more as we're underway at the Garden. Derek Harper with his tender hamstring fine enough to start. Ewing on Shinsis, kicks it for Oakley, now Harper. Partially deflected by Kenny Anderson. Starks drives on Morris. Tipped out of bounds. Knicks will keep it. 4 seconds on the 24-second clock.
Knicks concentrating on ball movement to open things up.
Bonner for Oakley. 2. Harper lets it go. He called glass. I saw him.
It's so rare you see players using the backboard these days, and the backboard can be your best friend from the side.
So it's Bonner with Coleman, Morris and Starks, and Morris has a few inches there. Harper and Anderson. Shinsis with Patrick Ewing, P.J. Brown, and Charles Oakley. Starks beats Shinsis with position. Starks, all the time in the world.
You know, Al, that the Nets want to concentrate on bringing something to this one tonight that they didn't in the last meeting here in early January, and that was intensity. They were flat, and they got run out, and they were embarrassed by their lack of effort.
Brown. Hits from deep. P.J. Brown is not someone that the Nets rely on for offense, more of a defensive specialist, but he gets a lot of minutes from Butch Beard. Charles Oakley falling away.
Coleman waved at him, but Charles wasn't distracted.
Anderson with speed pulls up. Harper did a good job to cut him off. Nets run a set piece. Look for Coleman to spin around. Instead it's Shinsis. No one from the Nets in there to hit the glass. Bonner. Offensive.
Well, he's in a comfort zone around the basket as long as he can get there.
So often reluctant to shoot. Bonner definitely wanted that one. Coleman guarded by Bonner. He spins on him and draws the foul. It will count. Coleman loves that spin move, and he can bring the Nets within 1.
Coleman comes off an ego bruising last night from the Utah Jazz. And Karl Malone, here's a Perry Ellis look at the maneuverability of the super talented Derek Coleman.
You know, John, I'm starting to think maybe Derek just shouldn't talk. I mean, if he makes sense once in a while, maybe. But the comment about Karl Malone is just ridiculous.
Ironically, Karl Malone, as John Starks drops hard to the basket with success. Karl Malone, a couple of months ago, said positive things about Derek Coleman. He was trying to give him advice, and he was pointing out how great he can be. And the sensitive Derek Coleman took off on him and set up a meeting last night that Malone ignored, except on the basketball court.
Stark steals the handoff. Reeves one way, then another. The 3. The most prolific three-point shooter in Knicks history has given the Knicks a 7-point lead. Now the Knicks are 5 for 6 from the floor. It all results in a 20-second timeout called by the Nets. Butch Beard talking things over with the leading scorer on the team, Derek Coleman. But he is not a hit in so many other ways. I mean, I think the league and Carl should be outraged at something like this. He's been an Uncle Tom since the beginning of time. Oh, boy.
Well, Karl Malone just went back to business last night, dominated the game, dominated Derek Coleman. Derek, of course, limited in playing time because of fouls, but Malone walked out of there with 29 points and 18 rebounds and a big smile. What a class act Karl Malone is. He refused to get into any
he beat him the way
any talk,
he
you know, any trash talk. He just went out and played.
Kenny Anderson playing with a slightly bruised foot. Coleman powers over Oakley. Great defensive work by Oakley. Shintzes with a well-timed follow. Knicks up 5. Well, that fall away worked on Murasan last night, and it continues to work tonight. Derek Harper calling for his teammates to talk to him, as he wants to know if there are any screens awaiting him as he moves back to the floor. P.J. Brown traveled. He was looking for somebody, but nothing developed.
He's got to give Oakley a better move in order to succeed.
Harper guarded by Anderson. Ewing given the shot.
He brought the touch back from Washington.
He's got 4, and the Knicks are sizzling. 7 of 8 from the floor. Kenny Anderson and Chris Morris yet to get involved in the offense. Here's Morris. It goes for 3 for Chris Morris. He's been playing very well for New Jersey.
He is their biggest three-point shooter. That was the 94th three of the year for Morris.
Kenny Anderson. That's a 2 put on the line. So the Nets put 2 shots together. And if you look at their stats, it's not the rebounding so much for this team. It's a commitment to defense because their opponents are outscoring them. And this has just not been a good shooting Nets team this year, averaging at about 42%. Derek Harper missed the layup. In fact, their top 3 scorers, Morris, Coleman, and that man Anderson, averaged 42% from the floor. Harper with a great move. The crossover froze Chris Morris.
Derek was shaken up last night with that hamstring annoying injury, but looks like he's just fine tonight.
Ewing gives Anderson a problem. 10 on the 24-second clock. P.J. Brown.
No second shots for the Nets.
Harper bounces it for Bonner, and he lost it out of bounds. We got a timeout at Madison Square Garden with 6:32 to go in the first. His team down 6.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page. We'll be talking with Gil Clancy and former world heavyweight boxing champion Evander Holyfield about the state of boxing right here on the next Page One.
Starks. Boy, do the Nets leave some Knicks wide open. I mean, Starks just can't be that open.
Too much time for John.
Anderson, no look for Shinskis. He bowls over Bonner. Knicks on the run. Wide open up the floor is Oakley. Too late. Charles Oakley had no net near him. Knicks will keep possession. They've won 5 out of their last 6 at home. Knicks shooting amazing, 8 for 11. Ewing came up short, gets his own rebound. Coleman comes over to double. Bonner. Ewing again. Starks almost beat Morris to the rebound. Kenny Anderson waits for some support. Coleman posts up on Ewing.
Harper really following Kenny Anderson very closely. Now double teams.
Almost stolen by Harper. Anderson rolls off the three-point attempt.
I don't think the Nets have gotten an offensive rebound yet as Kenny Anderson takes that ball from Derek Harper and waits for his teammates.
Derek Harper's usually doing the stealing, not having the ball stolen. Under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Coleman. He's met by Oakley and met hard.
I think Oakley wanted to give Derek Coleman a message and use a foul, helping out Ewing on that drive.
Oakley had a double-double last night at Landover, 10 and 11.
Many coaches, and I'm sure Pat Riley is one of them, like a foul like the one Oakley just committed. That's an announcement to the other team that it's not going to be easy to drive to the basket on our team.
Derek Coleman shooting 76% from the line. So Coleman is now 1 of 3 from the stripe. Knicks by 5, 17-12. Ewing screens for Starks. Starks on the pass-off is hit. Now, they work that pick and roll so often, and it's amazing, John, how often Patrick Ewing winds up being so open after the pick and then the roll.
It's very challenging for teams, Al, to defend the pick and roll. It requires great coordination on the part of the defense. You'll find most teams have difficult time doing it. Some teams do it very well. But it requires a lot of communication on the part of the defense and also partly on the offense to execute it well. Good picks, you know, just because a guy sets a pick doesn't mean it's a good pick. People who set good picks are rare, actually. John Starks falls short with the air ball on the foul shot. Gives himself a little noogie on the way back up court.
How does that happen? Noogies. Now, that's a fun term from the past, huh? As big a guy as you are, though, John, I'm sure you were the giver of noogies as opposed to the receiver.
No, Al. Actually, I borrowed that word from the Albert family. A lot went on between the three brothers.
Starks breaks out on P.J. Brown. Blows right by him. One quick step and a crossover, and John Starks leads all scorers with 8.
John's flying the last several games and getting to the line as well a lot lately.
Charles Smith taking off the warm-ups for the first time. Brown looking for Coleman. Bonner, great defensive job, and Oakley is called for a tight foul. Oakley thought he had the steal, but instead he's got the second foul of the game. Charles Smith is in. Oakley leaves. Smith off the injured list, lasting 37 minutes. Showed great movement. Morris. He had the position on John Starks, and that's a good look by P.J. Brown.
Also, Morris at 6'8" is a little too tall, or a lot too tall for John Starks.
Starks.
Bonner's doing a nice job on Derek Coleman so far.
Chris Morris, P.J. Brown almost had the putback. Bonner lofts it over the head of Jason Williams for Harper. Back for Bonner. Over Derek Coleman.
Coleman didn't make much of an effort to defend Bonner.
We've got another timeout on MSG with 3:03 to go. The Knicks lead is 8. Outbreak.
I heartily recommend that based on the reviews.
That's a foul on Anthony Bonner with only 5 seconds left on the 24-second clock. Only the 4th team foul on the Knicks. Second on Bonner. The Nets will inbound with a fresh 24. Patrick Ewing has 6 rebounds. The entire net team has but 7. Coleman guarded by Charles Smith. Almost stolen by Harper. Morris looking for Jason Williams. Ewing guarding him. Williams over Ewing.
Strong move by Jason Williams. Boy, time was he'd be more hesitant going at Patrick Ewing, but not on that move.
Ewing, what a look. Bonner came up short. Coleman guarded by Smith again. That's an illegal defense. Derek Harper did not make the full commitment to the double team. Caught in no man's land, and so the Nets will inbound. First infraction against the Knicks. Herb Williams checks in. Anthony Bonner leaves. So Pat Riley goes with both centers.
Key part of this game so far has been Bonner's work on Derek Coleman, who the last time they met had 15 points at the end of the first quarter against the Knicks.
Coleman right now has but 3 and 1 rebound. Coleman got Smith up in the air. And this time Smith fouls him as Coleman got his own rebound.
Well, the words you said, Al, tell the story. When you can get, as Coleman did, your defensive man to leave the ground with a head fake, you're on your way to success.
Knicks would like the intense focus on the Anthony Mason situation to go away, but it's in the news again today as the NBA Players Association reacts, filing a grievance. Charles Grantham saying that every player in the league should be outraged by this action. Looking for a fast resolution. NYU professor Dan Collins will arbitrate the grievance. Charles Grantham, a frequent visitor to Madison Square Garden there, and his negotiations with David Stern are ongoing.
Charlie is the executive director of the NBA Players Association.
Mason looks to lose about $73,000 for the 5-game suspension. Derek Harper hits the 3.
Also, Al, there has been no guarantee that he will be reinstated after that 5 games. That's one of the areas that the executive director of the Players Association is questioning.
Jason Williams over Smith. He blocked it. Davis goes to the floor. Knicks break up 5 on 3. Davis all the way. Now Smith. Oh, beautiful. Every Knicks fan loves to see Smith go up to the hoop like that.
And the Nets respond to that excitement by throwing the ball away as they try and respond with their own break.
Last minute of the opening quarter with the Knicks up 10, their biggest lead of the game. Harper surrounded by 3 Nets. Ewing.
Immediate double team comes Patrick's way.
Smith the fall away. Chris Morris checks the clock. It shows half a minute.
Morris taking Hubert Davis down low. Let's see if the Nets play to Morris. They don't.
Jason Williams out for Derek Coleman. It has not been his strength this season, the 3-pointer. Post pattern for Charles Smith, intercepted by P.J. Brown. That's the game clock you're looking at.
Morris is dying to throw the long shot. He can bomb them from half court.
He did last time at the Garden. It does not count. Jason Williams touched it at the glass, at the buzzer. So the teams will pause and break after 1 quarter. The Knicks 27, the Nets 17.
Whether he's back or not, I still favor the Knicks if they can get their situation straight with Mason and the team comes together, because Patrick Ewing, Mason, and Oak will be the difference in any series, especially in the playoffs.
During his retirement, did you think maybe he might stay retired, or all along did you think he'd eventually come back?
Well, I didn't think he was going to be a baseball player. So obviously I think that Michael loves challenges, his heart is in basketball. He loves to play. He loves to compete, and that's what the main thing is. And there was nothing there for him in baseball. For his individual competitiveness can come out. So I think he's back because he was missing competition, and he's ready to go again. But I don't think, in my mind, I don't favor them to win it. Still with him back, I think the front line is still weak, and Michael can't rebound, score, and shoot.
Would you tell Michael that? I don't.
Oh yeah, I would tell him that. He knows. You know, one thing about me, I'm honest. I tell him how I feel. You know, that's the way I am. He knows that he's a great player, but he needs people to rebound and defend inside. He can't do that. Even though he's going to come back with a big bang. And I wouldn't want to be the team that would face them in the first round or so, but I don't think they're going to win the championship, no.
What do you think about tomorrow? How do you think he'll look in Indianapolis?
Oh, he's going to look good. See, one thing about him is that he choreographed all this. He scripted this whole situation. So he's not going to come back unless he's going to come back with a bang and he's looking good. You can believe that. So one thing about Michael is that he loves to put on a show in front of the world, and he's going to do that tomorrow. He might be a little out of shape, but he'll be ready.
Magic, welcome back to the Garden.
And you know what? The Garden going to be jamming now that he's back. This Garden won't be the same. I can't wait. This is going to be unbelievable. Maybe I'll come back. Shoot, I don't have nothing else to do. Shoot, I'll come back too.
I think people will be happy about that.
All the old guys back. Hey, what the hell? Come on back, Magic. Yeah, I can be back.
Thanks, Magic.
All right, Bud, I can see the headlines tomorrow. Magic looking great. Meanwhile, the Nets within 5.
Well, if he needs any coaxing, Al, let's begin.
Why not?
A little surprised, though, as the Knicks have been moving along pretty nicely here. Charles Smith with a solid drive a couple of moments back at his references to Michael's game. I thought Michael was God. He said he couldn't rebound, score, and do it all. He dispelled the notion many of us had.
A magical endorsement for the Knicks. John Starks venting some frustration on the upright of the hoop.
Magic also noted he'd hate to be the first team to face the Chicago Bulls. Now, with all of his diplomacy aimed at the Knicks and all of the nice words, I don't think he did his counting from 1 to 8 as far as the Eastern Conference first-round playoff situation, because it looks like Chicago very might be the Knicks' first-round opponent.
I think Jordan's a lock for 30. I mean, if you were going to ask me what the over and under, maybe 30, but I'm taking the over. It's Armin Gilliam. The Nets showing a much different look here in the early minutes of the second quarter. It's Coleman up front with Armin Gilliam, Rex Walters, P.J. Brown, and Chris Childs. Nets on a 7-0 run to get within 3, and illegal defense is called on the Nets. But Butch has got to be happy. At least they were playing defense. It was illegal. Chris Morris back in.
They were a little soft there in the first quarter defensively, but it appears that the effort has picked up now by the Nets.
Oakley looking for Smith.
But Derek Coleman was sound asleep on that play.
So the 7-zip run ended there spectacularly. 9 minutes to go in the first half. The Knicks winners of 5 of their last 6 at home. The Nets have won 4 of their last 5 overall. Walters for 3. Thud. Smith goes up hard and draws a hard foul. Derek Coleman rushed in to help out, and that's his first foul.
Last play by the Knicks down court. Alley-oop play coming up. Charles Oakley, long pass to Charles Smith. No one in the way of Charles as he went in and caught that ball and sent it down.
Now the key to that, John, is he's got the ball like where his holster would be, and that's where the launch comes from. And there's no telegraphing. He's holding it down by his waist, and that's where it goes up. Patrick Ewing returns, and Herb Williams leaves. Herb grabbed 3 rebounds in his brief stint. Charles Smith has 7 points. Harper's got 7. Starks leads the Knicks with 8.
Charles Smith, Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, the Knicks' formidable front line out there now. A lot of height for the Knicks.
Armin Gilliam. He's had some impressive games, even here at the Garden in that net win, 85-83, first time that they met this season. Armin Gilliam was living up to his nickname, the Hammer.
He's a quality offensive player.
Stark sees Davis. He travels. Chris Childs showed himself defensively, and Davis was thrown off traveling. So Kenny Anderson and Chris Childs will comprise the net backcourt now. Morris, Gilliam, Coleman up front. Ewing on Gilliam. Poked away by Patrick Ewing, the all-time Knick leader in steals. The Knicks call fist up. Ewing, tough receive. See Smith. Charles Smith.
The dimension he brings when he's on his game just makes the Knicks super tough at the offensive end of the court and the defensive end when Charles is healthy and active.
Ewing and Oakley double team Coleman. Morris way off. Another rebound for Ewing. Long up the floor for Smith. Drop for Oakley. Behind the back and a foul.
Charles Smith lying there for a second, more disappointed at the outcome with a big smile on his face. Oakley keeping Derek Coleman off the boards. Ewing off balance, throwing the pass right on target. Smith to Oakley, back to Smith, who gets creamed by Chris Morris.
A flagrant foul has been called on Chris Morris. Back in a moment. A little hurt on his shoulder after the previous play. It resulted in a flagrant foul to Chris Morris.
Patrick Ewing collecting that rebound. Off balance pass on target to Charles Smith to Oakley. Back to Smith, who gets fouled hard. So much so it was called a flagrant by Chris Morris.
Charles Smith now has all of the Knicks' 9 points in this quarter. Couldn't ask for a better return off the injured list than what Charles Smith is giving the Knicks. Knicks back up by 8. Ewing tipped out by Smith. Hubert Davis in the backcourt with Harper. Bonner, Ewing, Smith up front. Ewing bangs on Shinsius. One hand fall away.
Well, Patrick got used to shooting against taller people last night against Murasan. And he's on target again tonight. Patrick at one point last night had 10 straight points. Charles Smith now responding similarly tonight.
Ewing has 6 points and 8 rebounds. Armin Gilliam. Ewing grabs his 9th rebound.
Nets aren't putting any pressure on their missed shot attempts.
Smith followed by Ewing, but Shinsius beat him to the ball. Kenny Anderson for Chris Morris, way out. Shinsius now guarded by Ewing, and Shinsius just coughed it up, and Bonner was lucky to be there. Davis didn't expect the pass. Davis for 2. It's an 11-2 Knick run. And that in response to what the Nets did in the early minutes of this second quarter to get back in the game. Knicks with their biggest lead now. It's 12. Morris gets away from Davis. Morris saves for Shinsius. Way off, an air ball grab by Bonner.
Shinsius looked very uncomfortable out there in the court.
Davis, beautiful. The Knicks shooting 57% and a little bit as Hubert Davis drives right through the entire Nets team. 5:23 to go in the half. The Knicks 42, the Nets 28.
To play the Clippers. Knicks game night that night will be 10 p.m.
Knicks have lost 6 of their last 7 to the Charlotte Hornets. That's not the way you'd want to go into a playoff series. They'll have a chance to change it a little bit on Tuesday here at the Garden before heading west for 3. Kenny Anderson guarded well by Harper. Morris from way out.
You can see how when Kenny Anderson puts the ball on the floor, there's immediate help for Derek Harper. It was Hubert Davis then. When Anderson is out high, dribbling around top of the circle, it's one of the big men jumping out on him, stopping him, making him give the ball up.
Harper gets a Smith screen. What a pass. Harper frustrated in close. Chris Morris tried the crossover, and as he came across, Hubert Davis fouled him. First on Davis. Chris Childs returns for New Jersey. John Starks and Charles Oakley return for the Knicks. Chris Morris leaves 2 of 7 from the floor, 5 points. Charles Smith leaving with 11 points. He leads the way for New York. Childs. Starks with a hand in his face. P.J. Brown. A line drive from P.J. Brown makes it 42-30 Knicks.
Boy, Bonner's concentrating on boxing out. He's matched up once again now with Derek Coleman.
Ewing, a quick look at the hoop. Ewing's got 8 and 9 rebounds. Kenny Anderson. Good hustle by Jason Williams. It is Nick ball. They say P.J. Brown touched it last. Charles Oakley will inbound. Kenny Anderson having a rough time of it. 1 of 5 from the floor. Shinsius 1 of 4. Coleman 2 of 5. And Morris, as I said, 2 of 7. Way off.
John Starks with the cross-court pass, which coaches hate because the percentage of success is slim, particularly in a half-court set offense. The defense is just hanging around too much.
Anderson met by Bonner. Somehow Williams got open, and a nice move reverse.
Also a nice pass from Childs inside.
Jason Williams has been in the news lately thanks to Harold Katz, the outspoken owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. Because of the deal that brought Jason Williams to New Jersey, if his minutes and points on the average total 19 or higher, the Sixers get the Nets' first-round pick. Katz was suspicious that Butch Beard was holding him out, and that Williams was seeing diminished minutes, and his total points and minutes stands at about 18 right now, so it's right near it.
Al, it's 17.7. I added it up before. I also spoke to Jason before the game. I said, Jason, are you playing fewer minutes these days because of this deal with Philadelphia? And he, with a big smile, indicated that was the case. Jason came here for 2 second-round draft picks, and as a result, the New Jersey Nets don't want to give up that #1 pick, and that's what's going on. Jason, over the last 5 games, has played a total of 40 minutes, and he has been a very valuable contributor to the Nets this season, despite their problems. But of late, as these numbers, as you point out, Al, are mounting, he is playing a lot less.
Maybe Harold Katz has something.
He's very, very hurt by this business deal that he made with New Jersey. He was hoping for better intentions by the Nets.
The Knicks 46, the Nets 32. 3:14 to go in the first half. P.J. Brown out for Chris Childs. Not a lot of motion on this net offensive set. Derek Coleman. He's been very quiet in this first half.
Al, in regard to that Jason Williams subject we were just discussing, the NBA, when questioned about their interest in that, the intentions of the deal and all that stuff, said that they had no comment, and indicating that that was a business deal between the Sixers and the Nets, and they have no involvement in that.
Kenny Anderson. What a move by Kenny Anderson.
Just special talent from Kenny Anderson. There it is. We finally saw it in this game. He did what very few people can do at his size against those big people.
Pat Riley a little frustrated about the Knicks defensive effort on the last 2 plays, especially here. 22nd timeout Knicks.
Kenny Anderson looking at 3 Knicks and breezing by them successfully.
Knicks coming in at 41-21, 5.5 games behind the Orlando Magic, who have lost 3 games in a row for the first time this season. Now suddenly, do you think it's possible again? Catching Orlando 5.5 games back with 20 to go.
They've lost 8 out of their last 10 on the road, Al, number one. Number two, the latter part of this season now, in late March and April, they are facing tough opponents on the road, some of the better teams.
Here's the story right now. Indiana, the 2 seed, because they lead the Central Division. Knicks with the 3rd slot if the season ended today. Starks dribbles away from Chris Childs, doesn't get the roll. Garden crowd a little bit quiet. Knicks in control, up by 10. 2:05 to halftime. Childs wide open. He hits the 3 to bring his team within 7.
He's been a terrific addition to the Nets. Kenny Anderson was out for a long time. Childs came in and surprised a lot of people with his efficient play.
Well, talk about efficient. He's made 2 of his 2 shots.
Charles Oakley with the long pass intended for Ewing. Ewing's fouled.
Meanwhile, as you watch the New Jersey Nets, keep in mind this is a team that's hanging on by just a little bit. Their lead over the Boston Celtics for the last playoff spot in the East is 1 game, and Miami's right there, only 2 behind.
Celtics have been so erratic this season. And last night they had an impressive win in Los Angeles against the Lakers, who have surprised the NBA this year with their terrific play.
Jason Williams leaves. Patrick Ewing. Makes the 2nd of 2. Major story breaking today from Northeastern University, which of course was the home of Reggie Lewis. They suspended a high-ranking assistant in connection with an investigation about Reggie Lewis possibly testing positive for cocaine use during his days at Northeastern. So that story is not done yet. Harper. They call a double dribble. 2 touches by Derek Harper on the drive. The turnover gives the ball to New Jersey, down 8.
Bonner doing a great job on Derek Coleman, who has been quiet.
Overplays him. Coleman still gets that ball. Dribbles past Oakley. Met up with Ewing, who commits the foul.
Coleman with a bit of a smirk as he works his way to the foul line. There's a Perry Ellis look at the Knicks defense in response to Derek Coleman. You can see Bonner banging him, getting in front of him, fighting him for position. Coleman at 6'10", though, with the longer arms, gets the ball. Oakley comes over to help. Very crafty ball handling by Derek Coleman. Sets himself up for that jump shot and the foul.
As you might have heard in the background, Derek Harper really going at it with the officials, and the referees are telling Derek Harper enough. Probably goes back to the double dribble call at the other end that Harper probably thinks should have been a foul. Coleman gets a bad bounce. He's 2 of 6 from the free throw line. 8 points, 4 rebounds for Derek Coleman.
Coleman, the leading scorer on this team, usually shoots them at a 76% clip this season.
Averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds a game, but shooting still at 42% on the season. Starks. Now Oakley. Tough shot by Patrick Ewing. The air ball is grabbed by P.J. Brown.
Coleman came over, Al, and made that stop.
The steal by Bonner. Harper breaking ahead of the play, but Bonner loses it off a net foot. Coleman's all alone. 36.5 seconds to go. The dunk brings the Nets within 5. It's a 10-1 New Jersey run in the last couple of minutes of this first half. The Nets are showing some spunk here, and the Knicks are getting a little sloppy with the basketball. John Starks just rolled it out of bounds. So now the 24-second clock is off. The Nets can play for one. A lot of talking with Derek Harper. He's still talking to referee Joe Crawford, who's right there. Anderson used the screen from way out. Bonner's got the rebound with no time left. Ewing lets it go. Oh, promising end to the first half for the New Jersey Nets. The Knicks lead them still by 5, 47-42. Bud Mitchell
play the Pacers.
Well, I think after having him on the floor tomorrow, I'll be able to describe it. Maybe won't be able to describe it, but once we see him out there in that red uniform playing for the Chicago Bulls, that'll be the emotional moment we've looked for and we've all waited for.
64 teams started this week with a dream. 63, of course, will go home disappointed. Manhattan joined that crowd today. They were eliminated by Arizona State 64-54 in the Southeast region. Fran Fraschilla's team played well in the first half. They led it 23-14. Ishimo Evans inside. Nice play. Justin Phoenix, who had 10. The lead was 25-16. Then Keaton Hyman had a nice day as well. Great drive inside. He laid it up and in. They would lead it by 4 points at halftime. But then in the second half, Arizona came out storming. 22-9. They outscored Manhattan in the first 12 minutes of the second half. Ron Riley hit a three. He had 21 points. Then the Sun Devils a step quicker to the ball. Pick up the loose ball. Mario Bennett inside. Bennett with 17 points, 12 rebounds. Riley finishing with a follow there. And Arizona State ends up winning it by 10 points this afternoon. UConn cleared a second hurdle today out west, beating Cincinnati during a spot in the regional semifinals. The Huskies played their best basketball in weeks today, whipping the Bearcats of Cincinnati. The final 96-91. It wasn't that close. The lead was up to 16 in the second half for Jim Calhoun, whose team is headed to Oakland. They'll play the Maryland-Texas winner. Since he beat the press early, Art Long, who had 22 points, a monster dunk, cut the UConn lead to 4, 35-31. Then a Kevin Ollie key bucket late in the half. Banks at home got fouled, had 13 points, 9 assists. UConn went in at halftime up by 3. Then the defense. They had 7 steals, a couple of blocks. Shepard's rejection. End of the break. It's Ollie to Donnie Marshall, finished with 25. And then the exclamation point. Ray Allen, who had 24. That upped the lead to 82-66. They win it 96-91 this afternoon. Other finals today. Kentucky advances. They'll play Arizona State. Wake Forest eliminates St. Louis. Oklahoma State and Virginia both escape with victories. Now this.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of road in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
That period, Alexander Karpatsoff scored on rookie goaltender Jim Carey to tie it at 1. Glenn Healy is in goal tonight for the Rangers. Elsewhere, the Devils lost to Tampa Bay, first time in their history. 2-1 was the final there. The Islanders collapsed in the final 22 minutes, blowing a 3-0 lead, losing to the Bruins 4-3 in Boston. We'll go back to the Knicks and the Nets from Madison Square Garden.
Chris Childs and Morris with 5, joined by Walt Frazier, as we are every halftime. The Knicks looked like they were coasting for a while, up 14. What did the Nets do late second quarter to get back?
The Nets tightened up their defense. They were playing the Matador defense early on, especially inside. So they shored that up, forced some turnovers, and they were able to get back into the game.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights now. The Knick highlights are brought to you by Minolta's 135EX Minolta, the official camera of the Garden. We start out early on. Some tough Knicks defense and not allowing the Nets too many good shots, and it leads to the fast break.
Yeah, the Nets were woeful early on. That time an ill-advised shot by Williams. Hubert Davis creating off the dribble, and Bonner with the Statue of Liberty stuff.
Patrick Ewing not having to face Benoit Benjamin going up against Dwayne Sinchis.
So Sinchis 7'2", 285, but not quick enough to keep up with Ewing. So Ewing spinning along the baseline with the jumper.
It seemed like Derek Coleman was kind of out of it for a while, but the spin move, he loves that.
Yeah, DC, erratic or dramatic, this time with the huff and stuff.
Armand Gilliam's had a lot of solid games against the Knicks, and late second quarter he came through again.
Yeah, he was prodigious off the bench, so Armand averaging about 13 a game, 6'9", 245, good perimeter shooter. This time the baby sky hook, and that time the Knicks defense was late coming over on the double team.
All right, Clive, we'll see you on the radio. Because of the Nets comeback, they are only down by 5 here at halftime. We'll go back to John and Al here at the Garden with the Knicks up by 5.
So, what's new on the 95 Explorer?
Well, for starters...
Did he say what's
Only net to go to the line. Ewing tries to help out Harper, then they both relax and Anderson breaks free, leaving Gilliam open. Ewing with rebound number 11. Dwayne Shinchis started the game for New Jersey. He does not start the second half. It is Gilliam replacing him.
He is a cosmetic starter, Al.
Oakley, the wild shot, almost saved by Bonner. Anderson falls down on him. Bonner winds up with the ball, but he throws it right to Coleman. And now to Brown. Chris Morris stutter steps, almost stolen by Oakley. Gilliam. No basket. No basket. Joe Crawford emphatic that the basket does not count. Patrick Ewing called for his second personal foul.
As you're mentioning, Al, Benoit Benjamin has started most of the games for the Nets this year, and Shinchis has been starting ever since. In his absence, Benjamin now injured once again.
This is the 6th straight game that Benoit Benjamin has missed with a back injury. Chris Morris slaps it out of bounds, and the Knicks will get it with 12 on the 24.
John Starks, when passing inside, has to respect Morris's long arms. He's got to put a little deception into those passes.
Starks quick release. All net. Starks 4 of 8 from the floor. He's got 11 to tie Charles Smith for the team lead in scoring in this game. Oakley guarding P.J. Brown. Ewing on Gilliam. Bonner on Coleman. Coleman goes up strong. He slid behind Oakley, got great position, and he comes away grimacing just a bit. Ewing pretty quiet in the first half, travels on that move in the middle.
He could be grimacing because he might have hurt his hand on the rim, Al, on that slam dunk. Coleman has missed several games this year. In fact, missed 2 of the prior 3 games against the Knicks due to a hand injury from coming into contact with the rim.
That was on a shot block attempt in late December. Coleman looks to get more involved. Hard shot over Ewing and beaten to the ball by Morris. Well, the Nets, or Gilliam rather, the Nets have continued their aggressive play from the first half, and it's a 4-point lead for the Knicks. They have led by as many as 14.
Clearly is necessary for the Knicks to turn up their intensity on defense once again.
Starks for another 3. 2 straight by John Starks. Knick lead back to 7.
Starks has his hands full again with the much taller Morris. The Nets seem to be ignoring that mismatch in height in their favor.
P.J. Brown had it knocked away. Morris saved, rejected by Ewing. Ewing again. Bonner comes down with it, and a loose ball foul. It'll be against New Jersey. Armin Gilliam is called.
Both teams competing for that ball. The active Ewing sending that shot away. Morris trying again. Bonner very active. Finally, the Knicks control.
John Starks has hit 3 in a row. Knick lead back to 10. Anderson drives past Harper. Short on the jump shot. Oakley breaks out with Starks on the left. Anderson almost stole it back. It will be Nick Ball. Butch Beard pulls Chris Morris and sends Chris Childs into the game. So in effect, 2 point guards on the floor for New Jersey. But Childs will assume the role of shooting guard. Harper for Starks popping out. Another one. Oakley saves it. Starks again. Anderson pulls up for his own. Ewing and Oakley, same team, out of bounds. And nothing but frustration on the faces of Ewing and Oakley.
Not much said between the two either, the two co-captains. Throwing Derek Harper, who is a tri-captain now as well.
Brown finally gets it in for Gilliam. Now Childs. Loose ball out of bounds. It will belong to the Knicks. Derek Coleman, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the floor. Just under 8 minutes to go. Derek Harper threw the ball away.
He tried to get that ball to Ewing down low. Had a little too much on it.
Anderson puts on a little dribbling show. Now Coleman working on Bonner. Bonner stays right with him. Bonner right in his face.
Bonner just didn't give him any room. What terrific defense by him.
Alley-oop for Bonner. Gets his own rebound. Help from Ewing, and he is fouled. John Starks and Anthony Bonner just misconnecting. Now words. Brown and Ewing.
Ewing, P.J. Brown.
Double technicals will be called. Joe Crawford going to the whistle quick.
Take a look at Ewing going in for that shot. Well, that was Bonner rather. Then Ewing picks up that ball, goes up for the shot. Ewing was in a very awkward position to do anything with it. He actually came up into Brown. It's hard to imagine what he was unhappy about.
Patrick Ewing rolls in the first. Previous play. Let's see what goes on. Ewing and Brown. You see the elbow on the back.
Yes, and Patrick got a good look at who was pushing him. So that was the reaction, and our crafty Bobby Lewis, our director, picked that up nicely to help explain that play.
And of course, our replay coordinator, assistant director, Eddie Caginelli. Eddie's a seafood lover, John. 7:10 to go in the third quarter. Knicks by 10. Starks picked up quickly. Now Ewing. Patrick Ewing, in recent minutes, perhaps spurred on by the physical contact, very much involved. And the Knicks have the lead back up to 12. Butch Beard calls time here at Madison Square Garden.
You may have made a difference in someone's life.
Well, it was the third personal foul for Charles Oakley. P.J. Brown, the first net other than Derek Coleman to go to the free throw line. 50% on that trip. Brown's got 7 points and 4 rebounds. The Knick lead is 11. Harper gets a screen from Oakley, who then runs away. Open for a moment underneath. Ewing posting on Coleman. Harper lets it go. All nets underneath.
Harper shows emotion when he misses shots.
Coleman met by Ewing and Bonner, and there's a foul. It's on Ewing. Third foul on Ewing.
If the Nets can get the ball into his hands, Derek Coleman's hands, it seems he will score or draw the foul. That's a general statement, but it seems to be the case particularly when he's inside the foul line. The Knicks have done a very good job, Bonner that is, keeping the ball out of his hands.
It has been a rough night for Derek Coleman at the line. He has made only 3 of 8. Knicks by an even 10. Bonner for Ewing. Triple team stolen by Brown. Coleman shovels it to Anderson. A lot of sneakers squeaking. Giles looking for Gilliam. Oakley denies the pass. Now Coleman. Ewing is on it. Traveling is the call. And Bonner and Coleman.
Coleman lifted the elbow up in Bonner's direction. He wasn't going to hit him, but it was a response that he had as Bonner tried to grab the ball out of his hand.
Double technicals. Second such instance in the quarter.
Ball goes into Coleman. Immediate double teaming takes place. Coleman frustrated. Bonner grabs that ball, and that elbow going up was picked up by the officials quickly.
I guess it wasn't double technicals at all. Just the single technical foul on Derek Coleman, missed by Charles Oakley. Derek Coleman, I think I read his lips, John. I think he said whoop-de-damn-do. I think that's what he said.
Al, I think you're putting words in Derek's mouth.
And I'm just recycling them.
Oh, I see.
5:30 to go with the Knicks leading by 10. Harper sees some room. Also sees Anthony Bonner. Anthony Bonner with his rare jump shot. I look at Kenny Anderson. I think a little bit of Stephon Marbury, who finally got his city championship earlier today at the Garden as Lincoln beat Robeson. P.J. Brown around Oakley. Intended for Coleman, out of bounds.
Bad pass by Brown.
Butch Beard working over referee Joe Crawford. Harper for Oakley. It's been a while since he's taken a shot. Anthony Bonner almost made something happen on the rebound, but here's Chris Childs coming in on Starks. And it's Chris Childs taking over the point position now for New Jersey. Anderson draws three. Gilliam is open. Knicks recover, but Armin Gilliam hits on the running one-hander.
Gorgeous shot by Gilliam with the left hand.
Starks dribbles it off his foot, now recovers. Help from Oakley, who falls into the backcourt. Starks for wide open Ewing. Harper's wide open. Knicks unselfish to a fault. Starks well short. Bonner gets the follow. Now Ewing. Everybody touched the basketball, and Patrick Ewing gives the Knicks a 12-point lead. Ewing's got 15 with 11 rebounds. Anderson sees Gilliam. Spins away from Oakley, off his leg and out of bounds. Nick Ball. And Charles Smith about to return, but it will have to wait until after the timeout. 3:54 to go in the third. Knicks up a dozen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page. We'll be talking with Gil Clancy.
For loose ball pursuit. Oakley scooping that ball up and keeping Chris Childs out of the play. A Perry Ellis look at that ball being moved around by the Knicks. Long shot by Starks into Bonner's hand. Gives Patrick Ewing a wide open short jumper, and Patrick comes through.
Now back live. The Nets show pressure. Derek Coleman tips it out of bounds. Knicks will keep it. 13 seconds on the 24-second clock. 3:43 to go in the third. The Knicks 64, the Nets 52. Ewing off the double team. Harper on the drive. Bonner is open now. Starks for three. Another.
Boy, talk about finding the open man, which is what the Knicks are doing. And John Starks has been coming through tonight with those outside jumpers.
Fourth three-pointer of the quarter for John Starks. Fifth of the game. He's 5 of 11. 8 on the 24-second clock. Coleman slides behind Bonner, who meets him at the rim, but commits a foul. Anthony Bonner is called for the foul. Hubert Davis returns for the Knicks. Derek Harper gets a breather.
I have to think if this game ended now, Al, the man that Pat Riley would talk about in a positive way is Bonner. He has the toughest job dealing with the toughest man who's at the foul line now, the leading scorer of the New Jersey Nets. Bonner is making it real difficult for Derek Coleman.
Chris Morris returns. Derek Coleman makes it 67-54. Nets by a baker's dozen. picked off by Chris Childs. Off the block by Anderson. Childs pulls up. Gilliam wasn't expecting it. Now the Knicks can break it the other way. Stark with a burst and a pass for Davis. He lost it. Spins away from Childs. Now it's Gilliam.
It was the look away part of that pass that threw it off target by Starks. Mismatch now. Ball goes into Coleman, who had Hubert Davis on him, but help arrives.
Ewing blocked the shot. Bonner's got the rebound. Starks dribbles past Anderson. 3-on-1. Here's Ewing. It's Anderson the other way. Rejected by Smith. What a weird sequence this is. Gilliam is fouled. Blocks and spins and slips. Armin Gilliam will go to the free throw line.
Gilliam has been a 13-point-a-game scorer against the Knicks this year. Also played some center recently. Last weekend against Boston, he played center in a successful game for the Nets over the Celtics.
Herb Williams returns for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing gets a break. Ewing sits with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Gilliam makes it a 67-55 game. Starks goes long distance for Davis. Quick look for Smith. Smith was very impressive in the first half. Yet to score here in the second. Knicks run a low screen for Davis, but he's not free. Bonner is looking for a second shot. That's way off. That ball gets away from the Nets. Jason Williams returns. He'll replace Armin Gilliam. Williams in the first half, 4 points, 2 rebounds, and a brief appearance.
Let's count it out. 8 minutes. 4 points is 12.
Means he's allowed 10 in this half, right?
Well, 12 and 7 is 19. 19 is the number. He accumulates on the average this season a combination of points and minutes totaling 19. The New Jersey Nets will give up their #1 draft pick to the Philadelphia 76ers based on a business deal that took place with #2 draft choices going to the Sixers.
What a wild thing to have in a contract. That's very creative.
Well, the owner of the Sixers is very upset about that because the Nets appear to be controlling the numbers so that Jason Williams does not accumulate the average of 19.
So some changes. Rick Mahorn, who's not been getting many minutes, usually less than 10 for New Jersey. Derek Coleman leaves. So it's Chris Morris, Jason Williams, Rick Mahorn, Chris Childs, and Kenny Anderson who's at the line. And Rex Walters looks about ready to complete this renovation by Butch Beard with 1:11 to go in the third quarter. Starks loses Anderson. Tough pass for Herb Williams. Tries to follow his own shot. Charles Smith is there. John Starks is at the point for the Knicks. Last minute. Davis, quick release.
Hubert seemed to be straining on that shot.
Chris Childs looks like he carries the ball on every dribble. Chris Morris. In and out. Big rebound by Jason Williams. A lot of strength. And Kenny Anderson takes advantage of that offensive rebound. Anderson only 3 of 11 from the floor, 7 points. Starks, Charles Smith.
Knicks really spreading out that offense.
And there's a foul. First foul has been called on Kenny Anderson. Meanwhile, Chris Morris for the Nets, as Rex Walters returns, has missed his last 9 shots. 0 for his last 9. Anthony Bonner leaves. Bonner leaves with 6 points and 8 rebounds. He had 10 rebounds last night in Landover. Harper, Starks for 3. be a foul against Hubert Davis. Well, Starks missed that 3, but overall it's still been a good night for the John Starks Foundation. He's hit 5 3-pointers on the game, and for every 3-pointer John Starks makes this season, Minolta donates $100 to his foundation. Starks now 5 of 12 from downtown. Jason Williams will step to the line.
Jason bringing his usual high energy to the game with that terrific offensive rebound a minute ago.
High energy but low free throw percentage. He's only shooting 53% from the line on the season. But he's 100% that time. New Jersey ending the 3rd quarter like they did the 2nd with a run. An 8-0 run as the buzzer sounds, cutting the Knicks lead to 7. So it's been a game of streaks. Heading to the 4th quarter. Back in a moment.
There's something you might.
Zoom or a Fuji Discovery 90, and nothing's more colorful than prints made with Fuji film.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
A trip back in time?
Bill Donahue on the right, and that girl is Marlo Thomas, his wife. Boy, is Bill on TV a lot or what? Daytime, nighttime. Rodney Hampton is here with a snappy sweater. And making his return to the Garden once again with a vision of red, Magic Johnson. And Dustin Hoffman in his season seats. And checking himself out on Garden Vision. 67-60. The Nets end the 3rd quarter with a run.
He probably gets a greater kick out of that than seeing himself on the big screen in motion pictures, you know.
As the sportsman he is, you're probably right. Well, this defensive squeeze is giving the Knicks some problems. Starks comes up short. And Jason Williams up well above the rim to grab another rebound. Both percentages from the floor way down in the 3rd. Mahorn for Chris Morris, who's 0 for his last 9 shots. Not a lot of movement in the New Jersey Net offense here. They're going to let Morris try to create. He's 0 for 10.
Both teams even in the rebounding department.
Now New Jersey seems to relax the defensive pressure. Starks looking for Herb Williams with Ewing on the bench. Williams against Williams. Mahorn out for Childs. Childs for 3. Another rebound by Jason Williams, and he gets fouled. So Jason Williams is giving the Knicks some problems inside. Charles Smith is called for his 3rd foul.
Jason plays with such effort and energy, as we've mentioned. He's distinguished himself in that regard and has become a valuable man.
Rex Walters, Chris Childs, Chris Morris, that man Jason Williams, who missed on the layup, and Rick Mahorn. It is Oakley, Herb Williams, Charles Smith, Derek Harper back, and Hubert Davis. Harper showing no ill effect from his slightly strained groin muscle, hamstring muscle from last night. Harper looking for Charles Smith. Up, under, stop, gets the follow, but the 24-second clock expires. A very strong defensive sequence by Butch Beard's Nets. Jason out high, guarded by Oakley. Rick Mahorn. Quick release, friendly roll.
Rick doesn't play many minutes these days. But when he's on the court, the opposition knows he's there, as usual, with his wide body and aggressive play.
With the players on the floor right now, the Knicks could use some offense from Charles Smith like he gave them in the 1st half. Another bad offensive sequence for the Knicks, and Chris Childs hits the 3. Once again, it's very tight here at the Garden. 67-65. And you can see Pat Riley bark out the timeout. It is a 13-0 New Jersey run.
Will take place on Wednesday, March 29th at 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Garden box office and all Ticketmaster locations. To charge, call 212-307-7171.
It's been a drought for the Knicks that's 551 and counting. New Jersey with the 13-0 run, and the Knicks having a tough time handling their defensive pressure. Charles Oakley has a chance to break the drought as he is fouled.
Well, he complicated his life a bit waiting for the defense so he could draw the foul and make the shot, but 1 out of 2 because he couldn't get the shot up while he was being fouled.
Very quiet night for Oakley. 4 points, 7 rebounds.
Charles, Al drifts in and out of the offense. He is not aggressive offensively, and his teammates tend to not go to him unless they really think about doing it.
And Charles Oakley stops the clock at 6:05 without scoring. That's a story that has allowed the Nets to get back into this game. They were within 4 in the third quarter. The Knicks responded with a run. They got the lead up to 15 points, and then New Jersey ran off 13 straight. Oakley perfect that time to the line. And it's 69-65 with 9:20 left. First chant of defense this evening at MSG. Chris Morris works for the shot, rejected by Charles Smith. Morris, he's 0 for 11. Kenny Anderson rescues the ball. Chris Childs. And that'll be Nick Ball. Well, Chris Morris is in a rough stretch. He has missed his last 11 shots. Butch Beard is calling out somebody's number. Make it his last 12 shots.
Maybe Butch is taking notice, Al, as B.J. Brown gets up.
And now we're on the field goal count. Almost 7 minutes without a field goal. Hubert Davis stops that clock.
Well, they spread the floor out, got it to the open man. That's the best thing they did was spread the floor out.
Butch Beard with the immediate reaction, hands on the shoulders for the 20.
There's a Perry Ellis look at the Knicks responding under pressure. They spread their men out, used all corners of the court at the offensive end, moving the ball. Hard for the defense now. They can't get to the spots when the offensive players are so far apart. Hubert Davis hitting the jumper, giving the Knicks a 6-point lead right now.
Some animated discussions off the net bench in that 22nd timeout. Chris Morris has 5 points. He's taken 15 shots.
That's assistant coach Jerry Eves talking to Butch Beard, who also has Paul Silas and John Wetzel as assistant coaches.
Anderson, quick dribbling on Harper. He's met by Ewing. Air ball, just beating the 24-second buzzer. That's 37%. That's what they're shooting against the Knicks through this, the 4th game. Charles Smith over the top net ball. Well, the shooting numbers in this quarter are wild. The Knicks are 1 for 6. New Jersey's 2 for 10. Charles Smith started the game 4 for 6. He's missed his last 5.
John Starks, who's had the good touch on the bench right now in favor of Hubert Davis.
Both teams tightening the defense here in the 4th. Coleman banks hard into Oakley.
Boy, if Charles Oakley isn't unhappy, which he is, he's expressing it. Joey Crawford, the official, he got clobbered by Coleman as Coleman drives to the basket. Here's another look at it. Watch Coleman thrust into Oakley.
I think that should be an offensive foul.
Oh, it sure looked it.
Nonetheless, it is Oakley's 4th foul. Kenny Anderson spins away from Oakley. All the way. Tough pass for P.J. Brown, who draws the foul. Kenny Anderson's vision when he is completely surrounded is remarkable. 4th foul on that man, Hubert Davis. Fouls mounting for the Knicks.
It's always interesting when the subject of Kenny Anderson's contract comes up. He has another year to go, but already word is being suggested that Kenny might want to go elsewhere. And of course, when that subject comes up, Al, it's generally the Knicks, the team that he thinks about the most. Then most recently, the feeling was that the Nets will do all they can to give Kenny the contract he feels he deserves, which is in the vicinity of Derek Coleman's $7.5 million a year.
Charles Oakley grabs the P.J. Brown miss. It's been another season of learning for Kenny Anderson. I guess you could say that about all his years so far in the NBA. Davis faked the 3, lost the ball, kept in by the Nets. Anderson looks for help. It's Childs. Another return for Coleman.
Well, I like the way Childs plays, Al. You know, he's a real throwback as a playmaking guard. He looks for people, throws a nice pass, is also a scoring threat. And that play brings the Nets to within 3.
Nets are hustling and hanging around. Knicks are really having a tough time with the Nets defense here in the 4th quarter. An offensive foul has been charged to Patrick Ewing. That is his 4th personal foul. So Oakley, Ewing, and Davis have 4 fouls.
Ewing backing his man in low, and then that elbow caught Childs right in the jaw, it appeared.
Knicks by 3. Anderson. And now Childs is all the way the length of the baseline. Coleman. Anderson lost it. Davis breaks up with Starks. Great pass.
Oh, wonderful pass from Hubert Davis to John Starks.
John Starks comes up grimacing after that. Trying to walk it off, something with his left leg. Coleman pulls up. No one boxed out P.J. Brown. Coming up on 6 minutes remaining here at the Garden. Morris. Unbelievable. He's missed his last 13 shots.
I would think one of the assistant coaches would remind Butch Beard of that. You know, at the end of this game, if Butch finds out he missed 13 straight shots, I can't believe he's still going with him, you know?
One more look at this successful Knick fast break and the on-target pass of Hubert Davis.
Nets on the move. Loose ball, though. Hubert comes up with it. Now Starks, he sees running in front of him. Great pass.
Now back live. Harper trying to work on a Smith screen. Finally gets it. Creates some room. And Derek Harper is fouled. Derek Coleman commits his 3rd personal foul. And there's a timeout with 5:33 remaining in the final quarter of this one. The Knicks up 5.
To Noonan. That got everybody fired up again. Okay, Graves stays on the ice for his 3rd face-off in the last 20 seconds.
Caps have kept the puck in the Rangers zone. 12.9 seconds remaining in the period. Caps on a power play.
Caps right now, Pavanka has to go off. The strap on his helmet's caused a problem. The referee will not wait to have it repaired, so he wants it changed. And on comes Dale Hunter to replace Pavanka.
It's a fair substitution for the Caps.
Possibly eventful substitution. Graves and Hunter. Oh boy, this could be a battle by themselves. Look at them, head to head. Look at this. Oh, see that? Graves is trying to get his head underneath Hunter. Hunter's bent over, got his head underneath this. Al's got it. They throw both out. Hunter will put his head underneath Graves so Graves can't see where the puck is.
Noonan and Kristich for the draw. Noonan wins it. Leach plays the puck. Off the glass. Juno stops it. Tries to keep it in. Across. Johansson the shot. Save with a blocker by Healy. Boy, he's been sharp. Along the boards, Kristich. Now Hunter in the corner. Centered off the stick. And that's the period.
Joey Juno with another great pass. He made, I don't know how many great passes. And here the referee and linesman doing a good job making sure the Rangers stay on the bench until the Caps clear the ice. As we've had a very eventful two periods.
Was some second period. Started off early on with the brawl and players going off to the penalty boxes for long stretches, power play chances, hitting, and great goaltending. Neither team able to score in the period, and the Caps and Rangers head for their respective locker rooms, still tied 1-1.
Advantage that Morris at 6'8" has over John Starks. They haven't paid attention to it either.
John Starks has been having fun with referee Joe Crawford all game, and that's what was happening right there. Derek Harper with the first of two. He was fouled on the drive, and now Coleman gets involved with the smiles. Harper comes up short. All nets in the lane for the rebound. Knicks by 6. They've led by as many as 15 points. That was back in the third quarter. The Nets have never led. Chris Child for a cutting Kenny Anderson. Swooping through is Jason Williams. Now Morris. Well, he's got great timing. That's when you break an 0 for 13 stretch. Chris Morris finally hits, and it comes at a great time.
The Knicks know that Jason Williams is a terrific offensive rebounder. They've got to pay attention to him. He made that happen.
Ewing gets the bouncer, draws 3. Look at the swarm of Nets defenders. Ewing. And Davis is there to help out the Knicks. Well, the Nets are really playing it aggressively. Charles Smith with his first second half point.
Oh, he used the left hand, too, as he made that shot.
And now the Knicks get a little more aggressive in the backcourt. And more, Butch Beard is having Chris Childs bring the ball up and having Kenny Anderson freelance through the offense. Now they post up Coleman. Back for Childs. Back for Coleman. Derek Harper left alone for the rebound. Knicks by 5. 4:05 to go. Ewing on Jason Williams. Patrick Ewing will go to the line.
Let's give Jason Williams the ultimate compliment by not double teaming when he's on Ewing, double teaming Patrick.
This is one of those games, you know, if you tried to predict this, you just couldn't. Patrick Ewing, great stretch of basketball. He's been playing so well. He comes into a game against a team that is well below 500 without a real center. And here he is with 15 points and 11 rebounds in the fourth quarter. But this recent run has pushed him well up. 24 a game. He's number 7 in the NBA.
I think more impressive is his rebounding this year, where he has been in the 3rd position for much of the season. 3rd in the NBA in rebounding.
At that time, Patrick Ewing missed both free throws. And now under 4 minutes to go, the Nets down 5. It's a mismatch favoring Chris Morris, but it's John Starks on top of that mismatch so far. Meanwhile, Patrick Ewing working hard off the boards, now averaging over 11 a game. On the inbound,
Hubert Davis with the block of Chris Childs' jump shot attempt. What a play. It's so hard to block a guy's jump shot.
Starks almost had Davis. Now looking for Ewing. 6 on the 24-second clock. Ewing up strong. No thought about it. Here's Harper quick. Followed by Davis. But then it's all Morris and Williams. Harper got it off with 2 on the 24.
Knicks need more, though. They need more defense.
Childs defended well by Davis. 7 on the 24-second clock. This is Coleman. Met by Starks, but it was Charles Smith who fouled him right at the moment the ball came in.
Derek is enjoying a quick whistle. He did on that play.
Coleman 18 points, 5 rebounds. Pat Riley checking something. Childs out for Morris. And Chris Morris, after missing 13 straight, hits 2 in a row, and he has changed this game.
Boy, eat my words. 0 for 13. Why is he out there? We're seeing why now.
It's a 2-point game. Illegal defense. This is bad timing because it'll send a Knick to the line. It is a technical foul, second illegal defense call against New Jersey. The ensuing argument will not be one between the Nets and the officials. Hubert Davis will take it. Davis with a chance to give the Knicks a 3-point lead. There were times last season in the playoffs, Indiana used it effectively, the defensive pressure. If you've got the ability and your team's in good shape to do it for an extended strength, it can give the Knicks some problems. It's a big reason why New Jersey has gotten back into this game. Ewing. Up and under. Chris Morris soaring for the rebound. This is an unbelievably cold shooting second half. The Nets are below 30%, and they're only down 3. Gilliam, someone yelled shoot it. He does and misses. Morris, another rebound. But Hubert Davis steals it away. Derek Harper tangled up with him, and the Knicks lose it out of bounds.
Hubert Davis, quick hands, though, initially got that ball back for the Knicks.
1 minute, 54 seconds to go. It has turned out to be a tight one. Fresh 24-second clock for New Jersey. Armin Gilliam drives on Charles Smith. Wild shot. All sorts of players up above the rim. And a foul. Armin Gilliam was there for the putback. That was the 5th foul on Charles Smith. That's number 5 on Smith. Armin Gilliam can bring the Nets within 1.
The Knicks are suffering now because of their inability to keep the Nets off the Nets' offensive boards.
Nets out rebounding the Knicks 47-42, and that's a very good barometer in most games of how the Knicks will fare in the final score.
Nets have out rebounded their last 5 opponents.
Gilliam hits them both. We've got a 1-point game with 1:43 left. Anderson forces Harper to make a tougher pass than normal. Starks for Ewing, too far out. Starks looks inside, finds Smith, and he is fouled, thinking about going up. Very important free throws now for the Knicks. And Smith from the line in the game, 3 for 4. The foul by Morris. Charles Smith, one of the best players on the floor in the first half. Very quiet here in the second. 13 points, 4 block shots, 2 rebounds. The lead remains 1.
Foul shooting hurt the Knicks in the only game the Nets won against the Knicks this year on December 20th.
You saw Charles Smith say, I got this one. And he's true to his word. Knicks by a deuce. Harper meets Anderson in the backcourt. Knicks lead the season series 2 games to 1. Last time, or the first game here at the Garden, the Nets won by 2.
So Starks has to keep his eye on Chris Morris' 3-point shooting.
Anderson goes all the way around. Childs for 3! Chris Childs hits the three-pointer that gives the Nets a 79-78 lead. Big three-point shooting by Morris and Childs. The Nets in front for the first time.
We're at the Chrysler test track along with off-duty police officer Kirk Harris to test drive the performance of the 3.5 lead.
The Knicks 78, the first time the Nets have led in the ball game. 1:11 to go. Chris Childs, a very strong, solid, consistent game with a very good sense of timing. The Knicks, with nobody hot, need someone to get so.
Coleman is on Ewing.
Starks, double team for a moment, finally gets it to Ewing. Smith, the big follow. And it doesn't go, but Smith puts it back. Charles Smith stayed with it. 55.9 to go. The Knicks have the lead. Timeout at the Garden.
Offensive boards. Take another look at it now. John Starks looking inside to Ewing. Wide open. Patrick goes for the jumper, but Charles Smith is there. Scoops it up. Doesn't make it. Hangs in there and tips it in. Big move for Charles. Came back last night in Washington. Looked good. Another look at it now. Charles with the long arms. Coleman careful not to foul him, but Charles digs right in there and gets the good bounce.
Fans to their feet here at the Garden. It's been a good night for Charles Smith. 16 points. 55.9 to go.
Nets with one timeout now. Chris Childs inbounding the ball. I would think they want to get it to their main man, Derek Coleman.
Childs does get it in. It goes to Morris, now Anderson. Harper cat-like in his defensive stance. Ewing pursues Anderson, who gets free and hits. With 44.9 to go, the lead changes again. 81-80 Nets, and they take their final timeout. The final 45 seconds when we come back.
Derek Harper, a quick release jump shot right on, gives them back the lead.
How about Chris Morris? He misses 13 straight, then hits 2 3-pointers. Kenny Anderson, on a night when he's 4 for 14, hits the jumper.
Knicks right now with plenty of time to make a good decision. They have continued to look in deep to Ewing in these moments.
Nets double team Harper, that worked earlier in the quarter. Davis to Harper, 17 on the 24. Great defense by New Jersey in this sequence. Starks for 3! He wasn't open for long. He needed the quick release. He's given the Knicks a 2-point lead. Well, the Nets were scrambling all over the floor. 32 seconds to go.
Puck nice, watch in front the traffic that will get to the front of Glenn Healy's goal. There's Pavanka all alone. Healy with a great save on his right leg, and then with the presence of mind not to panic, not knowing where the puck was, he finally falls on it. There's the grit save off of Pavanka. As Pavanka went wide, Healy stayed with him, covered it up nicely. 16 seconds to go on the power play.
A 2-point lead, 32 seconds to go. John signaling that 2 points for them.
Well, John, what do you think New Jersey does here? Just give the ball to Kenny Anderson and let him create like last possession?
I would think so, Al. And the Knicks are concerned with making sure Kenny Anderson doesn't get free like he did last time. But let's not forget Coleman.
32 seconds to go without a timeout. Childs has problems, finally gets it in. Anderson with Harper right on it. He's got the forearm on his waist. Anderson gets a Gilliam screen. He's met by Charles Smith, who now falls off. 13 on the 24. Anderson gets Harper in the air, draws the foul, and will go to the line with a chance to tie. 17.4 seconds left. It's pretty obvious that Butch Beard just wants Kenny Anderson to be the man in this situation.
Well, when you have a man who's so quick and makes so many fast decisions, and he's so difficult to deal with, he got Harper off the ground, and that gave him the attempts now at the line.
Anderson gets the roll. He's 2 for 3 from the free throw line here tonight on the season. 84%.
Kenny Anderson loves being where he is right now.
Kenny Anderson has tied this game 83-83, and the Knicks call timeout. It's a 20.
Having grown up in Queens and become a New York sports hero, called by many when he was in high school, and Stephon Marbury is being called now the best backcourt man in America. And he comes to the Garden tonight and just loves playing before this hometown crowd and enjoying the great moments of the tension of a game like this. And boy, is he coming through.
A full timeout has now been called. When the Nets beat the Knicks first meeting of the season here at the Garden, the final score was 85-83. That could be exactly what we're looking at again. And you mentioned Stephon Marbury, John. I mentioned it earlier, but how ironic that two great New York City point guards get a chance to make big impacts at the free throw line in games on the same day in the world's most famous arena. Marbury winning for Lincoln today over Robeson at the free throw line. Now Charles Smith and the rest of the Knicks listening to Pat Riley. Last time the Knicks just relied on ball movement. John Starks was open for a blink, hit the three. What about this time?
I think they're going to try and go inside to their big man. They had a lot of trouble getting it inside. Fortunately, John Starks came through from the perimeter. But they have enough time to be patient and also to go into Ewing, who really is too much for whoever will be guarding him right now.
Patrick Ewing has 0 points in the fourth quarter. Butch has given the Knicks, or the Nets, what he would like to see. Well, the Nets have given the Knicks everything they can handle defensively in this fourth quarter. Every pass has been challenged. Smith and Derek Harper exchanging thoughts. Is it the two of them that'll be involved?
Well, Ewing just wants that basketball. Derek Harper will have to make big decisions as well.
Here we go. Remember, if the Nets do get a Knick miss, they can call time. John, how much time left on the clock before the Knicks let it go up?
First available moment, Al, I think they'll go for it. It must be a good shot, and they've got to be very careful. Charles Smith with the big responsibility now of inbounding that basketball.
And so the play begins. Harper pops out. Smith can't find him, and the Knicks have to call a 20. The play was slow in developing, and when Harper did come out of the pack, he was guarded.
Starks was there, but Smith had already committed himself to the timeout.
Nobody has a timeout to call. That was it. So still 17.4 left. Remember what the Nets are playing for. They're playing for their playoff lives. They come in with only 18 games left in their season. 17 after tonight. Knicks with 19 left after this evening. Leading the Boston Celtics by 1, Miami by 2. And it looks as though they'll be a below 500 team unless somebody has a great run in the NBA Eastern Conference playoffs.
Once again, Charles Smith inbounding. The Knicks have to make it happen quicker now on the inbound.
It's Starks who loses Morris. John Starks drives all the way in. It's rejected, and Coleman's got it. 10 to go, Anderson. He's got Childs on his right. What poise, he pulls up. It's Davis on Kenny Anderson. 3 to go, Anderson. Coleman follows. And Jason Williams just missed beating the buzzer with what would have been the game winner.
What frustration. In the first meeting of the year, John Starks, with 10 seconds to go, got denied by Jason Williams in a play that they felt was a foul, which was not called. Starks again at the key part of a game-ending play against the Nets that didn't go his way. goes by Morris. Ironically, Jason Williams, the man who stopped him in the first meeting of the year. At the other end, Kenny Anderson going for the game winner. Derek Coleman right there. That's unable to get that ball in.
You know, the Jason Williams, as the Nets watch the final seconds, had a chance to block the shot at one end and tip in the game winner at the other. So we're headed to overtime. I mentioned the overtime records. There they are. It'll be Jason Williams against Patrick Ewing, who wins the tip easily. Charles Smith plays with 5 fouls. Charles Oakley, who didn't play the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, starts the overtime. Smith lofts for Ewing. Harper open, lost it. Morris slaps it ahead for Anderson. And Kenny Anderson easily drops it in. Oh, the poise of Anderson to pull the ball out when he got it with 4 seconds left in regulation to get a good shot was remarkable. Nets by 2.
Very unfortunate play for Derek Harper to start the overtime.
Now Starks just falls down. The breaks are going for the Nets. They break out 3-on-1. Harper has to foul Coleman and does. Right now, the Nets are in charge of this show.
I believe Derek Coleman said nice play to Harper, who fouled him.
Nets need someone on the line, with Coleman getting ready to take the free throws, and it'll be Chris Morris. Coleman, 18 points, 4 in the fourth quarter, 8 rebounds. 6 of 11, however, from the line tonight. John, I really think that defensive pressure that the Nets applied was the single factor that turned this game around. You agree?
Absolutely, Al. They became a team defensively.
Well, suddenly the Knicks are down 4 as the Nets strike early in the opening minute of overtime. Watch the movement of the Nets on defense. They move en masse. Ewing, tough shot. Kenny Anderson sneaks inside for the rebound. He's off and running. Anderson all net, and Pat Riley calls timeout. Kenny Anderson scores 4. Coleman connects for 2, and it's a half-dozen lead for New Jersey.
Announcing Pontiac's Triple Value Days. Lisa Grant Am, GM's best-selling car for only $169 a month. Loaded with AC, airbag, automatic, anti-lock brakes, power steering, and door locks. Your present car might even cover the down payment.
Lisa Grand 3 for only $209.
Knicks pushing that ball into Ewing, who's not on target on this play. Kenny Anderson retrieving that basketball, coming down court quickly, goes to that jump shot. First possession now in overtime. The Knicks moving the ball. Ewing back outside. Harper has the ball slide out of his hand, and the Nets open up the overtime with an easy one, a gift given to them.
Absolutely nothing happening for the Knicks offensively. With 3.5 to go in the third quarter, the Knicks led by 15 points. Since then, New Jersey's outscored them 37-16. And a whistle stops play. Illegal defense against New Jersey. Knicks will get a free throw. Knicks are really having problems moving the ball around with the way New Jersey is defending them. Hubert Davis will take the free throw, and Butch Beard gets a little piece of Joe Crawford's ear. Nets 89, Knicks 84.
Knicks now going with their 3-guard attack. They need offense.
Derek Harper only an 8-point night. Davis hits the 3. Not his usual arching shot, but more of a line drive.
Hubert Davis has scored 4 points in about 3 seconds. It's
a 2-point game. Anderson gets a Coleman screen. Smith switches back to get on Coleman. Another screen. Anderson drives on Smith. Almost threw it away. 2 on the 24. Out of bounds, Nick Ball. Not sure he would have been able to get a shot off to beat the 24 or not.
Boy, if Pat Riley feels smart going with Hubert Davis, sending Charles Oakley back to the bench, and Knicks needing offense, and Hubert coming through in a major way.
3 guards out there for New York. Harper for Starks. Under 3 to go in the overtime. Davis again. Patrick Ewing had the rebound, lost it. Davis rolls out and finds Derek Harper. Harper, 3. Air ball out of bounds. An air ball by Derek Harper. The Knicks are having trouble holding onto the ball, shooting the ball, passing the ball. 2.5 to go.
Stunning attempt by Derek Harper, who's usually very, very important in moments like that.
Anderson. Tipped up. Coleman was there. Nick Ball.
The Knicks have got to think about boxing out.
Well, Jason Williams had a chance. Derek Coleman had a chance. Jason Williams, 6 points, 13 rebounds in the game. Patrick Ewing out of the mix since halftime. 6 points, 3 rebounds. Davis for Smith. Stopped as he went up. Chris Morris commits the foul. Charles Smith has a chance to tie the game.
Character moments for both teams at this time. Who's going to step up? Who's wants the ball? Who's going to take the big shots? That's what the coaches want to see the answers to.
4 for 6 from the line tonight.
Go. Get up.
That's why you put backspin on the ball. Tied at 89. Timeout on the floor with 2:05 to go. The Knicks and Nets neck and neck.
Phil, after you were named MVP, what'd you do next?
I went to Walt Disney World.
Now, thanks to Nobody Beats the Wiz, your family can win a Disney All-Star vacation. You'll stay at Disney's new All-Star Sports Resort.
You'll fly Delta Airlines, the official airline of Walt Disney World.
Play at all 3 Disney theme parks.
And enjoy a whole world of fantasy, thrills, and fun.
Just drop into any Nobody Beats the Wiz store to enter.
And you could be shouting, "We're going to Disney World!"
The Knicks back into it, and it doesn't get any easier. Tuesday night, the Charlotte Hornets come in, and the Knicks have really struggled, losing 6 of the last 7 meetings with Charlotte. Game night begins our coverage at 7. Both teams with 2 full timeouts remaining in overtime. A pat on the back from Pat Riley to Patrick Ewing, who has been not involved in the second half.
Derek Harper going over to Patrick Ewing, talking to him, patting him on the back.
The New Jersey Nets have summoned up a fabulous effort from the 4th quarter on. Tied at 89. The Nets burst out in the opening minute with a 6-0 run. The Knicks respond in time to tie it. 10 on the 24-second clock. They want Coleman. Smith on him. They clear it out. Smith right with him. Coleman. Derek Coleman gives New Jersey a 2-point lead.
That's why he is a super player. He's unstoppable.
They have 2 great one-on-one players, and Butch Beard has gone to both Anderson and Coleman in the big spots. The Knicks want Ewing. Coleman's all over him. Davis finds Smith. Davis for 3. Ewing up big. Ewing's got it.
Charles Smith pounding the boards. That ball got loose, and Ewing was the recipient of a gift.
Tied at 91 with 1:15 to go. It's Anderson again, dribbling all over the court and wreaking havoc. Davis. Under a minute to go. All even. Chris Morris screaming at Starks. Ewing spins to the lane.
He had just gotten his first points since 4:09 left in the third quarter.
Anderson, the deliberate dribble. They want to clear it out again for somebody. Coleman sets the screen. And Charles Smith has fouled out of the game.
What a tight ball.
Charles Smith has fouled out of the game. He jumped out on the screen to help defend Kenny Anderson and got caught. And Charles Oakley's got to come back.
Taking another look at it now. Charles Smith jumping out.
And we've got a pause here at the Garden. With Smith gone, Oakley back, the game tied, and 34 seconds left. We'll take a break.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold ate our presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
Any faucet can turn on water. Kohler faucets give it shape.
The foul, the Nets will inbound, and I guess, John, like they've done, it's Anderson or Coleman, and it's clear it out for Coleman, or let Kenny try to create off the dribble.
Gilliam's dangerous. Chris Morris has saved the Nets with his 2 3-point shots in the closing moments of the game.
Butch Beard sends out Chris Childs, Kenny Anderson, Chris Morris, Derek Coleman, and Armand Gilliam. It's Anthony Bonner and Charles Oakley as Pat Riley goes back to 2 guards, John Starks and Derek Harper. Hubert Davis pulled, Patrick Ewing guarding Armand Gilliam.
Bonner now on the dangerous Chris Morris.
Under 30 seconds. Anderson
Coleman wide open, the Knicks didn't rotate.
Somehow they knocked the ball away. And the Knicks call time.
What a break. So, Al, you're wondering what's going on with the Knicks as far as any of the players saying, I want the ball, I can do it.
Pat Riley with an exchange with referee Joe Crawford.
Oakley's been quiet offensively. Patrick Ewing has dropped out of the offense for the last 16 minutes or so, with the exception of the 1 field goal. John Starks, you know, wants to take the shot. But will the Knicks decide to go to Ewing inside is the question. And can they get him the ball? And does he want it?
Disinterested. I mean, you know that's not the case, but that's the read I'm getting.
Kind of detached a little bit, you know. Does he hunger for the ball to win this game? Body chemistry brings out that question.
So it will be Nick ball, and the Nets will pressure in the backcourt, but lightly.
Jason Williams on Ewing.
Knicks spread the floor. Starks, Ewing, left, Oakley, Davis, right. Down to 10. They're going to play for 1. Harper spins, is fouled, and will go to the line with a chance to put the Knicks up. 5.6 to go. I never thought I'd see that particular call by Pat Riley. Butch Davis, Butch Beard rather, is totally frustrated.
Derek Harper has had some trouble at the line this year. We'll take another look at him. One-on-one, the Knicks cleared the floor out for him to go one-on-one against his shorter opponent, and he succeeded in drawing the foul.
Harper 74% from the free throw line.
That's a bad miss. He's way off on that. You want that shot to kiss the front rim with the first contact, not deep to the side.
He's 3 for 8 from the floor tonight and 1 for 3 from the line. 5 5.6 to go. He hits it, and the Nets respond by calling time.
He hits it, but he's not happy with himself.
The Knicks have the slimmest of leads. The conclusion in a moment.
Isn't technology wonderful? Look how it brings people together.
Harper's face, can't you, John?
Yes, he's not pleased that he missed one of those shots. He's down on himself, but at least he made one. The second shot he makes.
Charlie Ward hitting the deck. There was some nervous Knicks after that first one went off. 5.6 seconds to go. New Jersey on the inbound. They've got the dangerous offensive weapons in Anderson and Coleman, of course. Gilliam's out there to join him. Chris Childs has hit a big three in this game. No more timeouts left for the Nets. Coleman gets it from Morris, gets it back to Chris Morris for three. Out of bounds with, now they say the buzzer goes. No, they're going to put more time up. They are going to put more time on the clock. The ball appeared to go out of bounds, and the clock kept going. They are going to put 0.5 of a second up there.
That's enough time.
I am shocked that Chris Morris threw up an air ball. And the Knicks, down 6 in overtime, come back to win it.
But the Knicks had the ball with the half a second to go, and that's that. What a break.
Derek Coleman and John Starks exchange complimentary words.